Yeah. Yeah, resiliency because it wasn't pretty all the time, and obviously game of runs, made mistakes, but find a way to guard, held them to 20 points in the fourth. That's how you win games, and we lost. Obviously, that last one we couldn't score, and they scored 35 points, and we came back and did a good job in a player that had it going, 22 points in the first half, and only 2 points in the second half. So Zaire did a great job. Collectively, we did a good job because we tried to get the ball out of his hands. But also Zaire took the challenge one-on-one, going vertical, and it was good. It was a good fourth quarter.
The Cam Thomas three. I think you thought about calling a timeout, but you let Cam Thomas just do his thing. What did you?
Yeah, we've already talked because that happened in the Cleveland game where we had 46 seconds. I let the guys go. It was a broken play, random. We ended up shooting a three, but I don't know you guys remember Dennis's three, and we didn't shoot it on time. And I told the guys, hey, if it gets to 37 and we're unorganized, I'm going to call it. And I saw ourselves unorganized. I was calling it, but CT, he did what he does, step back three, and basketball gods, because I was really calling a timeout.
In the fourth quarter, I don't have them in front of me, but it seemed like you guys did a much better job on the boards. They were doing a good job getting at you on the boards early. Did you change anything tactically on that, or was that just effort?
Yeah, I think it was effort. Obviously, we also had Nick down there, which is, like a big presence, long, and it's like first and second jump, and he could deflect ball, and I think everybody was in the fight, and we come up with a lot of them. We ended up winning the second chance point battle by 5. But if you look at it, they were 4 out of 14, 15 out of second chance, which that means that they didn't convert, but they got a lot of them. So we were not good enough, but we got lucky, basically.
Jordi, you talked about how you guys want to take better care of the ball. Obviously, I think that brief stretch, I think it was like late, ball kind of got away from you guys, but you were able to recover a little bit. How much did it say about the team's resolve that you guys didn't let those turnovers kind of get you into a bit of quicksand, if you will?
Yeah, turnovers are deflating. Points out of turnovers, and offensive rebound threes are the most deflating things in the world in basketball, right? You made a mistake, and then they get a layup out of it, and then you don't box out. They get a dunk or a three out of it. So those are, those are tough to deal with, but you can tell that our team, even though that happened, instead of dropping our shoulders and turn negative, we just thought next play, and then we came out in the fourth. I know it was also a couple of turnovers here and there, but the way we closed the game, I thought it was impressive on both ends. Very disciplined, very together. I think the guys came together, support each other, talk to each other constantly in the huddles, and that's a good thing to see. I can be the one talking all the time, but when you see the guys talking to each other, that's what you want. That's how you're building the chemistry.
You mentioned the other night about how the plans wasn't changing. You wanted to play that aggressive level to get 10 assists in the first half. Just what did you see from him?
It was impressive, especially the way he was just finding everybody. And the guys right now they're getting used to play with him. It's if you're with him, you got to be ready to shoot. Noah caught the ball in the corner and found himself inside the three-point line. He didn't have his feet ready. He said it's my fault. I got to be, positioned better. And that was great. He had those 10 assists in the first half, ended up with 12, which is a great number, and we needed that. Like we talked before, we were missing his playmaking, ball handling, big body on both ends, also defensively. So it was great to have him back.
For Noah, he's mentioned to us before that if he gets the opportunity, he can knock down a three, but to make this many in a game, was that a surprising thing, or just, how did Noah kind of get to those spots for you?
No, because I see him shoot every day, and I know he's a good shooter. When I get mad at the guys is when they stop shooting. And Noah, one thing he's done consistently is just continue to let it fly, and it's how it works. You cannot control if it's gonna go in. You can control if you take a good shot. He kept taking good shot after good shot after good shot, and 5 for 10 is it's what we want to see. And I want him to keep shooting every time, and those catch and shoot threes.
Going deeper on Noah, he's the DNP in Boston. He gave you guys some good minutes in
Yeah, I mean his winning plays on defense, his verticalities, the way he protects the rim for us, switchability. He's engaged. He competes at a high level. So I'm very happy for him because like the same way when I saw Doe making those threes, like you're happy because you see it every day. You see it every day at the practice facility, shooting, and when it happens, I am not surprised. Maybe somebody else on the outside is, but I see it every day, and sometimes it's just the good thing is when different guys are, today it was Noah, the other day it was Doe. That's how we have to function. Obviously, we have players with roles that are going to take more shots, like CT, but then that X factor, who's going to be the X factor? We have many guys that can be X factors, and we're not surprised when that happens.
On Ingram, Zaire was obviously great. You kind of mentioned that it's a little bit of a team performance there. What is that conversation like at halftime where you kind of have to, not, maybe it's a mix of challenging the guys, but also maybe figuring out something differently?
Yeah, we had to be more aggressive. We especially missed him in transition. He had 8 transition points in the first half out of the 22. And that's just us not doing our job because you don't have your man. You have a man in transition. So whoever picks him up and then everybody else has to load. And if we want to get the ball out of his hands, like too many possessions where he just shot a pull-up 3 and he's taller than pretty much everybody else and he doesn't see you. That's how good he is. I've seen it 1,000 times. And, like I told the guys, is we have to challenge ourselves because he is so good. We got to get the ball in his hands. And not just Z taking that assignment for him as to guard him one-on-one, but also when we put 2 on him, then we scramble out. Sometimes they make threes, like Brandon Boston made a crazy 3 that we have to live with. Jose made one from the corner, tough one. Again, those are on me. The guys are doing their job.
Is that the
Last one, guys.
I was just going to ask him, Brandon, is that in the second half? I mean, you doubled him a lot. You ran a lot. Is that the most you think you ran doubles at a player?
No, I've played against
No, I meant just.
with in this season.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. I think we tried with Jason Tatum, also with Donovan Mitchell after the start. I don't know how many times, but yeah, we've executed. I don't know if you remember when Doe had a deflection of Peyton Pritchard's foot because we put 2 on the ball and it went out of bounds and we had the chance to win the game and it went to overtime. So on those 2 possessions, I believe we put 2 on him. It either was right after a blitz and pick and roll or just bringing an extra body. So it's something that we are, we're just working on it like I think a lot of teams in the NBA. But again, I think the guys did a great job, whether it was putting 2 on him or Z guarding him and taking the challenge.
Up and down, there were some good things and some bad things, but just overall, just what do you make of your guys' ability to close out this one? What did it take?
That was big for us because I feel like we done had a few games against really good teams where we played them down to the wire and then we don't close in the fourth. So for us to close in the fourth, I feel like it was a big step in the right direction. And it's not always pretty, but we got it done. So
You knocked down 5 threes. Just what were you reading? What were you seeing this game that allowed you to get to your spots that you wanted?
I do the cuts we supposed to do. I got my teammates found me when I was open. Got to let it fly.
But at what point did you know you had it going?
Man, it don't take but one for me, really. If I make one, it's going up. I mean, even if I don't make none, it's still going up, so it don't really matter.
It seemed like they were having their way with you guys on the boards through 3 quarters, and then in the fourth quarter, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but you guys did a much better job on the glass. Where did that come from? Was that a tactical thing, or was that just guys, everybody locked in and gave better effort?
Lock in, close the game. I don't think nobody ever want to give up rebounds or get beat on the rebounds. But yeah, I don't really know the count either. I wouldn't look to me right here. It looked like it was tied up by that end. We won by 1. Unless I'm looking at the wrong number. But yeah, I don't know what the fourth quarter stats look like. I know we held them to a low amount of points though. And that had to do with it.
You guys talked about, or Jordi talked to us about how you guys wanted to limit the turnovers and try to shake and not let those get you down. In a game like this where you guys did have some late turnovers, how were you guys able to not let that bother you and able to respond the way you did?
Next play. The game ain't over till it's over. everybody gonna make mistakes. Had a turnover early. Threw the ball to the defense before halftime, end of the first, something like that, and they got a layup. So, let's finish out.
Do you kind of take it as like another sign of growth for this team that after 2 games where fourth quarter didn't go so well that you guys could kind of execute much better in the fourth quarter today?
Yeah, for sure.
No, it seems like the coaches have talked a lot, Jordi especially, have talked a lot about that. You got to keep shooting. You got to let it fly. If you're open, you let it fly no matter what. How much does that help kind of you, especially coming in? Some games you're playing more minutes than others, but that you are not just allowed but expected to take those open looks.
It's big, I think Jordi has a great medium of, as far as shots go, I always, pushing confidence, but then in general, I think he has a great medium of, his having fun, his being very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very straightforward, but he also is he's good at giving his players confidence, and finding that medium I think is important. And yeah, tell us to shoot it, so shoot it.
In a game like this where so many guys stepped up, you had Zaire coming to the starting lineup, Ben, and then 12 assists, Jalen, you and yourself, just like kind of what does a game like this showcase about the depth that you guys have and how you guys can kind of come together?
I feel like we all work, and so when it's our time to do what we're supposed to do, I think we step up and do it. Yeah, that's really it.
Thanks, Don.
Appreciate y'all.
Congrats, everyone.
Cam, after feeling like maybe you let some of these other games get away Boston, just how important was it to be able to close this game out late down the stretch?
Yeah, it was good. Just finally, win the fourth quarter. We gave up a lead in the third. They went on their run. Then they went on another run early in the fourth. So we got down. But credit to the guys for staying composed, sticking together, and making big time shots when they need it. So that's all.
How were you guys able to stay composed? Because the last 2 games, those turnovers led to more and more mistakes, but it seemed like this game, you guys were able to limit those mistakes with the turnovers. How were you guys able to just not let that get to you for a 3rd straight game?
Yeah, just learning from our mistakes. Just looking at the last 2 games, and just learning from it, and we did a great job of executing down the stretch. Still running our stuff, still running everything. So, we did a good job of executing today. So, credit to the guys and the coaches.
You guys were getting out-rebounded pretty handily, going into that fourth quarter. And then you out-rebounded 18-10 in the fourth quarter. What changed in there? Was there anything tactical, or did you guys just kind of bear down and do what you do but do it better?
Nah, just bearing down and just getting the ball because, we got the stops. They were just getting a lot of second chance points, a lot of the cleanup buckets, the second chance buckets. So we knew in the fourth quarter we cleaned that up. We can, take the lead and win the game. So I think we did a good job of just finishing, our good defensive possessions. So that's about it. Not really no scheme to it. We just went and got the ball. So that's it.
In a game like this where Noah makes 5 threes, shoots 10. You hitting 4 is not surprising. But when Noah hits 5, what does that do for just someone who's already competent to shoot? He has a game like this where he can just let it fly and knock down 5.
Yeah, it's big. Just knowing the work that he puts in, always being ready, always ready to shoot. So, so he was due for, a great shooting game from behind the arc because, he's been working. But at the end of the day, you just got to, embrace it because, he's young, So I feel like everybody's proud of him, stepping up, playing the backup 5, really changing the game for, the other team schemes because they got to guard him out there, and you can't really just load up and let him shoot because, but a game like this, now he's on everybody's radar of, he can knock it down at a high level. So, he just got to keep it up, but very proud of him. So, it was a big-time game.
How impressive was Zaire Williams stepping into that starting lineup? I know Jordi said he got the assignment on Brady. What did you see from him out there on the court?
Yeah, just what Z always does, being ready, playing hard, just buying in, just making it as tough as possible on Ingram. He had 22 at half and finished with 24. So, that's credit to Z and also everybody just, giving him support, loading up, just making it tougher on Brandon. So, I think that's just, you know, just who Z is, just sticking with it, playing hard, and always being ready for the moment. So that's just who Z is for sure.
When Noah's doing what he's doing, shooting from the perimeter, he's obviously going to shoot when he's out there. What does that do for you guys with spacing the floor? Because like you said, teams down to the count for a big man who's going to stay out there and take 7, 9 threes a game now.
Yeah, it's definitely a different weapon we have. Just for him to be able to play the 4 and the 5 and be able to be that stretch 4, stretch 5 that we could have in the second unit. So it's just really, a great thing to see for us. So I think it's really good to have that as another weapon because, you know, in games like this where teams are blitzing me or trying to double team and get the ball in my hands a lot, then we have a 4 or 5 man who can space out and knock it down. You know, we bring 2 to the ball, and he's wide open, he can knock it down. So I think it's really another tool that we can use when teams try to throw the blitz at me. So I think it's really good for sure.
Cam, on the go-ahead 3, I think you told Megan that, you know, you'd seen a lot of doubles, a lot of blitzes off of pick and roll. It seemed like you were very decisive and almost kind of beat New Orleans to the punch there on that play. Kind of how important was your decisiveness and then kind of getting to your spot for the shot?
Yeah, just want to play fast out of that. I think it was like a 2-for-1 situation. So, you know, we talked about that as well. We wanted to get the 2-for-1 and down the stretch like that. So really just seeing the clock and just trying to make, you know, get as good as a look as I can. So I think that's all I did. I just seen the clock and just try to get a good look up. And, you know, good thing it went in, made me look good. So it's just all good.
Did you know that Jordi was trying to call a timeout before?
No, I didn't. I only knew till he said in the locker room. But, I mean, I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't see him because that would have been real bad. But at the end of the day, you know, like he said from the last game, he said like he wanted to get the 2-for-1, and if we didn't have nothing going, he wanted to call a timeout and get us into something. But I already knew to be like decisive in that, and knew the shot clock was kind of going down, and we was close to the 33 mark, and it was just trying to get a great look as I could. So that's about it.
How glad were you to challenge that play on the jump ball?
Really good, really happy. That was credit to Z because he went over there immediately and told him to challenge it. I mean, he was in the play, so he knew. So that's just credit to Z for being right because, you know, a lot of guys say challenge and don't be right. So just credit to him for being right and got the ball back. And, you know, closing the game out with Schroeder, just running around the backcourt. So it's a good win for sure.